Let's be honest. Everyone wants an easy road. No pain, no pressure, no problems. But tell me something. When did ease ever make anyone extraordinary? Life isn't meant to be smooth. It's meant to make you strong. And sometimes when you're asking God for an easier road, He's whispering back, I'm trying to give you stronger legs. So today, let's talk about the difference between a fool and a wise soul, because one keeps praying for the road to change, while the other becomes the kind of person who can walk any road. The illusion of an easy life is one of the greatest traps the human mind falls into. Most people secretly believe that happiness lies in comfort, that if life could just be a little smoother, if problems could disappear, and if everything went according to plan, then peace would finally arrive. But this belief is a deception, a mirage that keeps people stuck in frustration and weakness. Because the truth is, the easier life gets, the smaller you become. Ease does not create strength, and comfort does not build character. The pursuit of an easy life often turns people into passive dreamers, waiting for circumstances to align perfectly instead of developing the courage to face what is. It's like praying for the storm to stop instead of learning to sail through it. When we expect life to be easy, we resist growth. Every challenge that appears before us is an opportunity to stretch, to evolve, to build the kind of inner muscle that no comfort zone can provide. But the person who seeks ease will avoid struggle at all costs, not realizing that struggle is the birthplace of greatness. Think about it. Diamonds are formed under pressure, and muscles grow through resistance. The same law applies to the human spirit. The one who demands an easier life is in fact asking to remain ordinary, because all extraordinary souls have been shaped by difficulty, molded by rejection, and strengthened by failure. Life's resistance is not punishment, it's preparation. Yet fools see it as an obstacle instead of a lesson. The illusion of an easy life also steals gratitude. When people focus on what's hard, they overlook what's beautiful. They forget that even the struggle of breathing, working, loving, and surviving means they're still alive, still capable of change, still capable of more. The moment you start wishing life were easier, you shift your energy from creation to complaint. You lose sight of the miracle that exists within challenge. And ironically, the more you chase ease, the more restless you become. Because no matter how much comfort you create, the soul will always crave meaning. And meaning only comes through effort, endurance, and overcoming. So, the illusion of an easy life is not just false, it's dangerous. It convinces you to stop growing while life is trying to teach you how to become strong enough to walk any path. Strength is built through struggle, not through comfort, not through ease, and never through the absence of pain. Every challenge you face carries within it the seed of your growth, but only if you choose to rise instead of retreat. When life tests you, it is not trying to destroy you. It's trying to show you what you're made of. Struggle is the forge where character is created. It is the pressure that reveals potential, the discomfort that awakens hidden power. Yet most people run from it, praying for the storm to pass rather than learning to walk through the rain. What they don't realize is that strength never appears out of nowhere. It is built, one trial at a time, through the moments that demand more of you than you think you have to give. Every time you fall and stand again, every time you face rejection and keep believing, every time you push through exhaustion when your body and mind tell you to quit, that's strength being built quietly inside you. You can't see it in the moment, but one day, you'll look back and realize that the pain you cursed was actually the foundation of your power. The people who seem unshakable weren't born that way. They were shaped by moments that would have broken the weaker version of themselves. They were refined by nights of doubt, failure, and fear. They grew stronger not because life went easy on them, but because they refused to surrender when life got hard. Struggle is the universe's way of preparing you for the blessings you're asking for. It's the test that determines whether you're truly ready for what you say you want. Everyone dreams of success, peace, or love, but few are willing to endure the discomfort it takes to hold on to them. Strength is not the absence of struggle, it's the outcome of it. When you learn to embrace pain as a teacher, you stop seeing it as punishment. You start realizing that every difficulty carries wisdom and every wound carries a message. The path to real strength is not paved with ease. It's carved by the hands of persistence, patience, and faith that refuses to die even when everything seems against you. Mindset over circumstance. This is the secret that separates those who merely survive from those who truly live. Life will always bring uncertainty, pain, and pressure. Circumstances will never be perfect, and waiting for them to be is the slowest way to waste a lifetime. But the truth is, your outer world is shaped by your inner one. Two people can face the same storm. One will collapse in fear, while the other will rise in faith. The difference isn't in what happened, it's in how they think. Your mindset determines your altitude. It is the lens through which you interpret every experience. If your mindset is weak, every problem looks like a wall. But if your mindset is strong, every wall looks like a doorway. There are people who have everything: comfort, support, opportunity, and yet they feel lost. And there are those who come from nothing, surrounded by pain, rejection, and failure, but they rise anyway. The reason is simple. One lets circumstances dictate their worth, while the other uses their mindset to redefine reality. The strongest people are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who refuse to let hardship rewrite their identity. When life pushed them down, they didn't say, "Why me?" They said, "Try me." That's the mindset that transforms obstacles into openings and wounds into wisdom. Your circumstance is temporary, but your mindset is eternal. What you believe about yourself in moments of struggle will either cage you or carry you. If your focus stays on the unfairness of life, you will forever feel powerless. But if your focus shifts to what you can control, your attitude, your choices, your reactions, then no external force can defeat you. The truth is, every great transformation begins not with a change in situation, but with a change in perspective. Once your mind learns to see possibility in pain, you start turning setbacks into stepping stones. The world doesn't have to change for you to win. You have to change the way you see the world. Because when your mindset is stronger than your circumstances, even the hardest days can become the foundation of your greatest strength. The power of inner growth is something the world often overlooks because it doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce itself with applause or recognition. It happens quietly, in the private battles of the heart and mind, in those long nights of reflection, in those silent moments when you choose patience over anger, understanding over pride, and perseverance over defeat. True growth doesn't come from the outside, it begins within. The person who commits to growing internally no longer depends on external validation to feel valuable. They find their strength in their stillness and their confidence in self-awareness. When you start focusing on inner growth, you realize that the world around you doesn't need to change for you to feel peace. You do. Inner growth is the transformation that occurs when pain becomes purpose. It's when you stop blaming life and start learning from it. It's when you begin to understand that every experience, no matter how unfair or uncomfortable, is shaping you into a wiser, calmer, and more grounded version of yourself. Most people spend their lives trying to control what's outside of them, situations, people, outcomes, but the truly wise focus on mastering what's inside. Because once you conquer your reactions, your fears, and your self-doubt, the world loses its power to control you. The storms may rage outside, but within you, there's clarity and strength that nothing can shake. The power of inner growth also lies in its ability to turn weakness into wisdom. When you start healing internally, the things that once triggered you no longer define you. You stop chasing temporary satisfaction and begin cultivating lasting peace. You understand that failure doesn't diminish your worth, it refines it. Growth teaches you emotional discipline, spiritual maturity, and mental resilience. It teaches you that real power isn't about dominance or control. It's about balance. It's about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to wait, when to let go and when to hold on. Inner growth gives you the strength to remain calm in chaos and kind in cruelty. And it's this invisible transformation that eventually changes everything you touch, because once the inside evolves, the outside naturally follows. Faith in action is the kind of belief that goes beyond words. It's the difference between hoping for something and moving toward it. Real faith isn't passive. It's not sitting and waiting for life to change. It's standing up, even when your knees are shaking, and walking forward when nothing around you guarantees success. Faith without action is like a seed never planted. It carries potential, but no power. The person who truly believes doesn't just say, "I trust that things will work out." They live, act, and move as if the outcome is already written in their favor. Faith is proven in the moments when you have every reason to quit, but you keep showing up anyway. It's when you work in silence, when you push through uncertainty, and when you keep going even though the path ahead isn't clear. The strength of your faith is tested not in comfort, but in confusion. It's easy to believe when everything makes sense, when doors open easily, and when progress is visible. But the real test of faith begins when everything you've prayed for seems delayed, when your plans fall apart, and when the silence of waiting feels unbearable. That's when most people lose hope, but those who carry faith in action don't stop. They continue, not because the road is easy, but because their belief is stronger than their doubt. They trust that every step, even the uncertain one, is leading them exactly where they're meant to be. Faith doesn't erase fear. It gives you the courage to act despite it. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the conviction to move, even when you can't see the whole map. Faith in action transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary journeys. It reminds you that miracles don't come to those who wait idly. They come to those who walk toward them with unwavering belief. Every great story of victory is a story of someone who refused to sit still, who combined prayer with persistence, and who understood that divine help meets you halfway after you take the first step. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be, and the only way to cross it is to move, trust, and act with the certainty that what you're seeking is already seeking you. Becoming the warrior, not the worrier, is about choosing strength over fear, purpose over panic, and action over anxiety. Every person faces battles. Some are visible, but most are fought in silence, within the mind and the heart. Worry drains energy, while courage builds it. The worrier keeps replaying what could go wrong. The warrior prepares for what could go right. The worrier fears the storm. The warrior learns to dance in the rain. The difference lies not in what they face, but in how they face it. A worrier lets circumstances define their spirit, while a warrior allows challenges to refine it. Becoming a warrior doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you don't let fear make your decisions. You act, you move, you fight through the doubt until confidence becomes your second nature. Warriors are controlled by what-ifs. Warriors are guided by what's next. They understand that life will never hand them perfect conditions, and waiting for the right moment is just another form of hesitation. Warriors take action when they're scared, tired, or unsure, because they know movement creates momentum, and momentum builds faith. The worrier stands still, trapped in the maze of overthinking, while the warrior breaks free through determination. Strength isn't about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do. The warrior doesn't spend time blaming life. They use every setback as fuel to become sharper, wiser, and more grounded. The transformation from worrier to warrior begins in your mindset. It's a daily decision to stop surrendering to fear and start standing in faith. It's understanding that you can't control the wind, but you can control your sail. The warrior faces the same chaos but responds with clarity. They refuse to let temporary pain create permanent paralysis. They fight their own doubts, silence their own insecurities, and walk through the fire knowing that strength is forged in heat, not comfort. Becoming a warrior means you stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the creator of your destiny. It's about choosing discipline over despair, resilience over reaction, and focus over fear. When you make that shift, you stop surviving life. You start leading it. So, as you walk away from this message, remember, life was never meant to be easy. It was meant to make you extraordinary. Stop asking for softer ground and start building stronger legs. Don't pray for fewer storms. Pray for the wisdom to stand tall in the wind. Every hardship is a hidden invitation to rise higher, to evolve, and to meet the version of yourself that only pressure can reveal. You were never designed to crumble under challenge. You were designed to grow through it. The fool waits for the road to change. The wise become strong enough to walk any road. So the next time life tests you, don't shrink back and ask, "Why me?" Instead, look up and say, "Because I'm ready." Your strength was never found in the easy days. It was built in the days that tried to break you. And if you keep walking with faith, courage, and conviction, there will come a time when you'll look back at the road behind you and whisper with pride, "It was never easy, but I became strong enough to walk it."